Hey, what's up, everybody? It's your boy Sven, and we're back with the politics once again. So, I'm here to tell you why you, as a leftist, should support Marianne Williamson in the 2024 primaries. So, reason number one, we don't like Biden. We don't like him even a little bit. You know, he had some good things going on before the whole war in Gaza, but man, it's just been bad. Reason number two, Marianne supports a free Palestine. That's the most important reason for me, and genuinely why she should be in your top list of candidates. I mean, I know a lot of leftists want to vote for Cornel West or Robert Kennedy Jr., but I'll get into more specifics as to why she is better than those other candidates. Now let's get into reason number three. She is a continuation of the Bernie Sanders policy agenda, and she's taking it to the next level. She supports an economic Bill of Rights, which is an absolutely revolutionary idea that hasn't been floated since Franklin Delano Roosevelt. So what exactly does that mean? She supports the right to a job that pays a living wage, the right to free health care, the right to union advocacy in the workplace, and many more rights that we as leftists have been fighting for years. And she also wants to create the U.S. Department of Peace. That's right, the counterpart to our U.S. Department of Defense, where she would be focusing on negotiations with foreign nations, rather than wars that end in millions of deaths. And I think this is also a revolutionary idea. You don't see anybody else in the political world even, bring up the notion of peace ever. All they want is war, and more explosions. And again, healthcare, right? That's what us leftists have been crying for like 8 years at this point. We just want healthcare, please. We just want healthcare. But let's get into more electoral reasons why I think she's the best candidate. She has a way better chance than Biden, in my opinion, at winning. She has good optics and a clean record. There's a couple scandals around the corners, but nothing compared to both Biden and Trump. And she knows how to play the political game. She'll facetiously support things like the military, or, the U.S. effort in Ukraine, or, she won't say anything too radically socialist either, but, she's on the same side as us. She just knows what not to say to not get in too much trouble. Another thing, optically, is that she's a Christian, more or less. That's important for a lot of Americans. She kind of subscribes to the New Age spirituality, so that may get her... It gets her criticized, even though no other Christian in politics ever gets criticized for their religion. Pretty hypocritical, if you ask me. The last reason that you as a leftist should support her is that the Democrats don't want her to win. The same thing happened to Bernie that's happening to her now. The media doesn't want her on because the Democratic Party is trying to ordain Joe Biden as their preferred candidate. We do not need to let that happen. We as leftists should fight the battleground to prevent their authoritarian rule. And the way we fight is voting in the primaries. I strongly believe that protest voting in the general election is not a viable strategy. I think that leads to either you voting for a completely irrelevant candidate like the Green Party or the Libertarian Party, or in this race, you might end up pulling votes from the Democrats, and it would end up being a spoiler effect. Now, I know people on the left hate that word, spoiler, but it's a reality, we're dealing with the Democrats versus Donald Trump. And if we let Donald Trump take even an inch, he's going to run with it a mile. We can't let that happen. So we need to stop the dilemma before it happens. We can send out Marianne, and then we don't have to worry about voting for a third-party candidate because our candidate will actually be in the Democratic Party. So just in terms of strategy, I think it's the only way to go is to vote in the primary and not waste your vote on a third-party candidate. I know it's going to sound harsh or like I'm some kind of liberal, but please, don't vote for Cornel West or Robert Kennedy. You are throwing your vote away. Please. And let's talk about what happens if Marianne loses the primary. Do we as leftists lose anything? No. nothing to lose for us at this point. Even if she doesn't win, if we have a primary that's competitive, Biden will be better than he was before. We may actually be sending out a Biden that adopts some of Marianne's policies, at least facetiously so. He did the same thing with Bernie in 2020, where he took on some of Bernie's policy positions into his campaign and ran with that in the 2020 general, and he won because of it. If Biden does not get subjected to a primary and doesn't adopt any of Marianne's policies, there's no way in hell he's going to win. It's just not going to be possible. And let's think about it this way. The Democratic Party is weak compared to the Republican Party. Think about it from the leftist progressive perspective. Fighting the Democrats is going to be a lot easier than fighting both Democrats and Republicans in a general election. And so I just think if you're a leftist on both a strategic and policy and moral level, you should be supporting Marianne Williamson right now, because the primaries start in January. This is our last month to really build up a lot of support, and she's above 10%. She's actually competitive. I mean, this is pretty decent numbers for the lack of media attention that she's getting. So if we push her over the edge, we might be able to see something truly transformative. So, I've been your boy Sven, and if you liked the video, you can like, comment, and subscribe, and let me know what you want to see on this channel. More Marianne agitprop, or maybe some more climate change stuff. I'll of course keep talking about Israel and Gaza as things update there. Stay tuned!